This is Tide Surf Magazine and you're watching issue number 3. In this issue we travel south and are loosely based around the Waterford, Tramore area, profiling surfers Grace Doyle, Kevin Doyle, Jay Widger and more.
My name is Jay Widger, I'm from Tramore, County Waterford, and I've been surfing for over 10 years. I'm a member of Tramore Surf Club. I've been competing in ISA surfing events since I've been 8 years old. I really enjoy competing in these events as I believe it helps me become a better surfer, and meeting all the people along the way builds a great community within the Irish surfing. Last year I've competed in many ISA surfing competitions, winning the under 18 junior tour, giving me the opportunity to surf in the Europeans in Portugal. Thanks for my sponsors Alder for helping me through the way. It's been great.
Hi, my name is Butler. I'm the manager of Tramore Surf Shop here on the beachfront in Tramore. We stock everything that you could need, from men's and ladies clothing, wetsuits, surfboards, hardware like your leashes, your tail pads, your fins. So 2 wetsuits that I highly recommend this season in Ireland is the Rip Curl Dawn Patrol 5.3. This wetsuit is a super flexible wetsuit. Rip Curl, they've updated their zips on them, now extra strong. But if you turn that wetsuit inside out, there's a fleece line on the inside. That fleece line will keep you so warm. I've had some sessions in Ireland last winter, the height of winter. I put this wetsuit on in the freezing cold. Wetsuit was soaking wet. I put this wetsuit on in the freezing cold, and I've actually been too hot in the wetsuit. You know, I've been like sweating in the wetsuit. So the Rip Curl Dawn Patrol 5.3, like the 5.3, I actually got away with it last year in like February. And I mean, I am an absolute perisher, but when I had that on, I was literally too hot in it. So yeah, this winter I'm wearing that, but maybe with the hood, the version with the hood, obviously. The same wetsuit I recommend for the ladies is the Rip Curl Dawn Patrol back zip, Rip Curl Dawn Patrol ladies. The ladies version, it has some nice colors on it. Guys should have that on it too, but some nice colors on it, and also super flexible. It's a great wetsuit, great value. I'm absolutely loving Rip Curl at the moment. A board that I'd really highly recommend for all you mid-length guys and girls is the new Mid-6 by Harley Ingleby and Bill Tallhurst. An unbelievably fun board, super fast. This is the 7.6 version of the board. 5 pins, You can ride it as a quad or a thruster. For doing turns, I'd recommend riding this board as a thruster, 3 fins. For fast down the line kind of surfing on maybe on a point break, I'd ride this board as a quad. As well as a surf shop, we also have a surf school, Tramore Surf School. You can find out information about our school via our website, tramoresurfshop.com or tramoresurfschool.com. You can also check out our shop via our social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram at Tramore Surf Shop.
I've just written a new book called Ebb and Flow, Connect with the Patterns and Power of Water. I'm really excited to share it with you and with the world. It's all about our changing human relationship with water and how we might restore our lost connection with the planet's waters, and in doing so, not only restore the health of the water, but also our own health. So the book looks at that interconnection between our human health and well-being and the health of the environments that we live in, especially water, and how it can support us in seeking our own well-being as well. I'm Dr. Easkey Britton from Donegal, Ireland. I'm a surfer, marine social scientist, and I love to write books about our ocean connection. I grew up and learned to surf on Resnala Beach here in Donegal. From the age of 4, I was standing on a surfboard, and I was born into a surfing family, so going on surf trips and traveling, experiencing new waves was always part of our family life, like heading down the coast to Sligo and camping out at my namesake wave, Easkey. And then I spent a long time competing as a professional surfer. I joined the Irish surf team from the age of 12 all the way until my late 20s. And so surfing became this amazing vehicle to kind of travel and experience the world, meet new people and places. And around my early 20s, big wave surfing in Ireland began to kick off with some surfers starting to pioneer Mullaghmore and Aileens for the very first time. So I kind of jumped into the fray and became one of the first women to surf Mullaghmore and Aileens and catch some of the biggest waves in my life there. Surfboard that I currently ride is a twin fin. No surprise there, being mum to twins, it has to be twin fin. It's by Cord Surfboards, and it's called the Arc, and I'm obsessed with it. It's about a 5'9", and I ride it in almost like all conditions. Like the flow of the water cycle, renewing our relationship with water is a cyclical tale of rhythm and movement, giving and receiving, inhalation and exhalation, ebb and flow, where water is at the beginning and end of every cycle of life.
So I started off working in my dad's surfboard factory when I was 16, 17, and I worked there for a few years learning the trade, and then started to travel, going up to the Gold Coast in Australia, working for some of the biggest brands there, DHD, JS, Simon Anderson, learning a lot more of the trade until I went through Byron Bay, worked there as well, and then eventually met my wife from Ireland, from County Clare, and I started my own surfboard factory and glassed boards for Lost, Chile, with the main ones down there, and of course local shapers. And then my wife wanted to move back to Ireland so she could be with her mammy, and so yeah, we shipped up and came over here and started something new, and it's been fantastic. My family and I landed here in County Clare and Lahinch in general 8 years ago. And at that time, knowing I still wanted to make surfboards and seeing there was a good market for it, I started to get on the lookout for it. I started working in the back shed with Sean at Coated Surfboards, and pretty soon we noticed that we didn't have enough room to keep up with the demand for what we were doing. So we came down to a big factory here in Ennis 6 years ago, and we built a fantastic purpose-built factory here. We've just started to get into pads, leashes, fins, and everything like that, because it was quite hard for everyone to find these sorts of things, especially fins. So we've started our own company with that, the Board Locker, and yeah, it just seems to be going fantastic. And coming from Australia, where everyone was their own little entity and no surfboard makers and shapers really worked together, it was great to come into Ireland, where being such a small place, you needed to work along to either share shipping on materials or share space, or I came in here, and Sean there was at Coated Surfboards was nice enough to let me work out at his factory for one. Paul down at Glide, I get some blanks cut with him. I get my blanks from another shaper, Henry, down in Tramore. I've worked with Tom from DH Surfboards, helping glass some boards. So it's really interesting and great that all these people can get together and help each other out, because it's what's needed here, because it's quite hard to make a board in Ireland. One of my best things and favourite things is the repeat customer. You know, you learn so much, especially locally, if it's a local surfer, that how they surf, you know, because you might make their first board and you might not get it right first time, you know, shapers are only human, but if you get the chance to sort of get that repeat customer, you can really learn who they are, really make something that works great for them, and it becomes a relationship that goes down through the years. I've got a few surfers that they're local that I've made boards for now for 6 years, and it gets better and better every time, because you learn so much, you get so much input, and it doesn't matter if the input's bad. That's the learning curve. You need that input whether or not it's good or bad. I've worked with a couple of young kids around as well. Tom Breen down at Tramore has been a great one. He was actually great just to get my name down in Tramore. He's been fantastic for that. His, surfboards are constantly changing, constantly evolving, because when I first started making boards for him, he was 5'4", now he's 6 foot, so it has constantly had to evolve with his height, with the way he surfs, and everything like that. And once again, he's been very instrumental getting me down there into Tramore, because he's actually a great family of surfers, a great part of his community, and I think that is what is important, especially with the small shapers and and sponsoring local kids, you sponsor the person, not just the way they surf, and he's been fantastic, yeah.
My name is Doyle. I'm from Tramore in County Waterford, and I've been surfing for roughly 18 years. So my love for the water actually came from being a competitive swimmer. I didn't start surfing till I was around 11 or 12 years old, mainly because my two older brothers started surfing and I kind of copied my brother Gavin. I was a bit competitive, so I wanted to do what he was doing, and yeah, we surfed together ever since. And I started surfing in Tramore, and now I surf all over Ireland, and I love to travel around the world and do different trips as well and surf different waves. My brother has been a good influence through my surfing. It's always been nice to have him around for tips and help me out, and he pushed me a lot when I was younger, when, you know, pushed me into bigger waves and made me feel safer. I was focused on swimming for a good part of my life, so I didn't start competing till my 20s, and ever since I've been doing competitions around Ireland. I've also competed on the Irish team. I've been to places like Morocco, Japan and El Salvador with the Irish team, which has been really fun. So this is my favourite board at the moment. It's my Quiver model. It's called a Papa model, and it's a 5'9". It goes good in all waves. It's about 26 litres. I usually was riding 25, but just for the winter in Ireland, I got an extra litre. And yeah, it goes really well, and I've brought it to a few different trips as well. It goes well in other waves. I just have 2 medium fins in the back on the outside and a small fin on the inside, mainly because I broke the middle one and I just put in a small one, and ever since I've been using it, so it's been going good. Yeah.
Originally from Sydney, Australia. Been here 22 years now. I've been doing board repairs in Tramore area for about 10 years. I just picked it up in Australia, just in the back shed, just repairing my own boards and mates' boards. Yeah, and then COVID, started making a few of my own boards. Yeah. Through COVID, I picked up an old 60s pig surfboard, and I had a go at trying to shape it. So yeah, well, that was a good bit of fun.
I'm Gavin mcCrae, and I am now the Technical Coordinator and Coach Development Officer for Irish Surfing. And Irish Surfing itself is the governing body of surfing in Ireland. And with that, we cover surf clubs, surf schools, competition surfing, surf development within the country, and then also we now touch into environment and community as well. So it doesn't just encompass competition surfing or surf schools, it's the wider community of surfing in Ireland itself. Before COVID, we purchased the truck, our new contest van for judging. It wasn't rolled out because COVID happened. It was in storage, so we brought it out last year for the first time. And along with the truck, we invested heavily in the computer live scoring system as well. We've also invested in judging courses, and we're going to be rolling out more Level 1 International Surfing Association judging courses. But we have an e-learning course, so we've got judges in the truck, and that all ties into that large investment which is driven for the competitive side of the sport that we have. So that's to help the kids, the competitors, to understand what they get for scores. The competitors come in the truck and they judge with us as well, so they understand what the judges are looking for, what they then need to do in the water. So we've built on that, and we've been building and building since before COVID. And then, like I said, the last year has really allowed us to kind of showcase what we've been working on in the background and bring it out and roll it out for everybody to see. Zoe is the CEO, Zoe Lally, and she sources funding and investment to help with the growth of the sport, so that we can invest in the teams and the community and other kind of wider projects as well, like women in sport, inclusion programs, accessibility for different communities and things like that. And my role is I've kind of relieved Zoe of some of her workload so that she can concentrate on that side of stuff. And I now have taken over as contest director, head judge, organising, running the contests and the surf schools also as well, and surf school inspections, and keeping contact with surf clubs throughout the country. So this year we've adapted the calendar, the tour. The junior tour is still there. It's been increased to 7 events to allow a bigger geographical spread, so we can target new areas around the country, but we've also increased the senior tour as well, so it's not just the standalone nationals. So there's going to be 3 events with a potential 4th, with a selection event on there to select the senior team to travel to international and European contests. So the idea behind that is to try and capture some of those junior surfers that have come of age, that are in the minor category. We tend to lose those. There's a fall off. So if we can keep those engaged, then we have a better senior tour going forward as well. It's hard to get a big brand to sponsor in Ireland. It's a very small market compared to Europe and the world. So we have a couple of highly sponsored surfers, but it's still very small. You know, for your big brand companies, it's a big investment for little return. Surfing now has Olympic status, We do have very, very small amount of funding from Olympic Ireland, Team Ireland, and that's because we have Garage, and Garage is our kind of goat at the minute to get to the Olympics. And he is on that pathway to try and attempt to qualify for the Olympics. But the amount of money or the investment at the minute, we're not seen as an elite sport. We're still seen as a participation sport. So in that respect, it's very small. But we have been accredited with Olympic status at the same time. As part of my role, over the past few years, I've been a head judge, and I go to surf at the Europeans, or not surf, judge at the Europeans, and I've been invited to Eurosup and a few other contests like that, and we've built a good relationship. We've always had a good relationship with European Surfing, ESF, and they're always on the lookout for venues for international European contests. So yes, a big event such as the Europeans will be on the cards for the future. But it all stems to cost and financial running of the contest, because it's a big operation, it's a big undertaking as well. It's a lot of planning, providing accommodation for the teams and infrastructure for the contest. So it is a big investment.